lawsuit was filed in New York this week on behalf of 3 licensed hemp retailers, accusing the state cannabis officials of violating their constitutional rights through aggressive enforcement tactics. The retailers claim that the Office of Cannabis Management, OCM, conducted military-style raids to crack down on illegal cannabis sales despite the businesses legally selling these products for 6 years. The lawsuits filed in New York Supreme Court highlights incidents involving Smoke and Save in Saratoga Springs, 2 strains in Queensbury, and Breckenridge in Manhattan. The retailers allege they were treated as unlicensed cannabis sellers, with raids involving heavily armed police who searched personal belongings, broke into locked cabinets, and turned off surveillance cameras without showing identification. The new regulations, which were adopted in December without public input, ban certain intoxicating hemp products. The lawsuit argues that these raids, conducted under the guise of administrative inspections, were unconstitutional as they lacked notice, probable cause, or a warrant. Additionally, the lawsuit includes the New York Sheriff's Office as defendant. This legal action follows a similar lawsuit filed earlier in Manhattan challenging the state's enforcement practices and lack of transparency regarding the raids. So we go to the first story of the day, right? We're talking about how fast they're moving through this process and how they're padlocking to protect and things like that. And at the end of the day, they're violating people's rights. There is a process to this. If you want to enforce something, there is a process. You go to the court, you get a warrant, do it the right way. They did not do it the right way, and I'm really excited to see this happen, and I'm pretty sure Dale Schafer is going to use the word them getting spanked in his comments on this, so I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, I'm in favor of going to a neutral judge and getting a warrant before you go stick your nose into somebody's business. So I think they should get sued. And they could have gotten an administrative warrant, which is a lot easier to get, but you don't get the right to go search every nook and cranny and stick a microscope up somebody's ass like you do with a criminal warrant. But still, they could go to court and, pony up probable cause, and I'm in favor of that. The unfortunate thing for the cops is that that's so damn slow, the trap market just keeps running to the next corner and staying one step ahead.
Whack-a-mole.
I mean, I understand their frustration, but there is a process, and people do have rights. And if you're selling what are otherwise known to be legal products and you come in and just tear someone's place up without a warrant, I'd get a little upset too and sue them.
But even then, even if they did have a warrant, they would still have a right to sue because they basically seized legal product when they were trying to say that it was illegal, Dale.
Well,
I mean,
this is what happens.
There's a financial burden right there, and I think that they're totally liable for that.
Well, I would hope they are, and in most cases, I'd say they would be. But the way it typically gets handled is the criminal courts, they go in and twist your arm to get you to drop everything and settle it, and they drop charges, and it goes away that way. And I'd say no, keep your pedal to the metal. Force them to go into court and defend themselves and see if you get some rulings out of the courts that prevent this sort of thing from happening.
Man.
I guess, monkey spanking don't work when your opponent's all about that guerrilla warfare. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, boy.
Wow, Rico.
See what you did
You
there.
would be surprised what the cops do when you ain't looking. I mean, I've been part of some operations cops were involved in, 30 years ago or more, and I was shocked and amazed at some of the things that they were doing. And if no one finds out about it, and you just end up, being convicted. And you'd hope it would come out, but a lot of these agencies work together behind the scenes, and they aren't afraid to go in and do a sneak and peek and go in and look around in your shop when you're not there. They've done it to me. Hell, they broke into my office so many times, I just stopped counting. And they left evidence behind that I would find to let me know they were breaking in my office.
Yeah.
Some of the shit they do is just crazy.
Do the old reach around.
Ooh. Whoa.
Well, we're talking about New York, the state where you can, almost get charged with murder because your girl accidentally stabbed herself 16 times in the back or whatever.
That part.
Like, when those cops there doing whatever.
That's Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania.
That is true. That is true. I stand corrected.
I mean, there's a lot of other crazy things that happen in New York that are equally as crazy.
What about those 5 gentlemen that Donald Trump put out an ad out in the New York Post?
I was referring more like the shop owners that get killed by criminals and then their family has no recourse.
Yeah.
Well, any thoughts on this?
Didn't they have a touchy-feely governor for a while there? You know, that gave him a lot of props around the women's world. Homo liked to impose himself on his workers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
I think he did have a little record of that. You have any thoughts on this, Rachelle, before I move to this next story?
Keep her moving.